I just met with the hematologist, medical oncologist where I live in Grass Valley, and he was talking me through which drug I'm going to take for the ITP, and he, at the end he said, you know, Anitra, I think you overthink this stuff too much, and if that's not true, I don't know what is. It's true, I do. And I was this way about the Herceptin, and I took Herceptin, and Herceptin was a walk in the park. Herceptin was nothing. I didn't have any symptoms about Herceptin. That was like the first thing that I did for cancer treatment, and I had zero, except for fatigue, but it wasn't even like hardcore fatigue. It was just fatigue. And I was so worried about doing Herceptin, so worried that I did IPT. I did insulin potentiation therapy, like these tiny little bits. It was like so few milligram compared to the dose that they give you as part of going through the targeted treatment for people that are HER2 positive. It was just the tiniest little bit. It's just it's just funny. I'm laughing because like I really needed to hear that I overthink these things, because I think it's totally true. So I also asked him if he was going to retire, because the hematologist at Stanford said that he heard that he was going to retire, and I'm like, how am I the intermediary here? But are you going to retire? And he's like, no, I'm not going to retire. So my homework right now is that I get to figure out which of the 3, he said splenectomy, which is called splenectomy, I guess. I guess it's like zoology and zoology. He said that I was seeing data that showed 2/3 of people that get splenectomies have success with the ITP, and he said it's actually more like 1/3. So basically, I'm not doing that. And then the other ones are like end plate, rituximab. Rituximab, it's a monoclonal antibody like Herceptin. I'm probably going to go with that one just because it's similar to Herceptin, and it's an infusion like I'm used to getting. Thank God for my lovely port. I love this port. I seriously love this port. If you're thinking about getting a port, I tell people all the time, get the port, because that's like the only thing I haven't had any problems with. It's been really great. So I just need to let him know in the next couple days, and then I'll probably take it for 6 months, and then they'll test my blood. Well, they might test my blood before that, but by the way, right now my platelets are 220 something, so it's awesome. But it's from IVIGG, you know, so it's good, but we need my body to like stay producing. So yeah, I'm gonna find out which one, and then I'm gonna take it. And then he said sometimes the body can go into like spontaneous remission as well, so after a while we'll see where I am with you know, I'll go off the drug basically, and then maybe I can stay off of it. So I'm feeling really good. I read somewhere that it was like, I was so worried is what I was gonna say. I don't feel worried like that anymore. And I read somewhere it's like rare blood disorder. I'm like, wait, really? I still don't totally get that, but now I'm really relating more to it. It's an immune system problem. It's an autoimmune disorder, you know, which is way different than a rare blood disease. That's the word. I don't know if I said disease. Oh shoot. Oh, I don't know if I could turn here. I'm always doing weird car antics when I make videos. Yeah, this is not a good place to be turning, but oh well, I'm committed now. I'm here. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I mean, I really am kind of over being in hospitals and stuff, and tomorrow I get to drive to Stanford, but luckily I have a friend I'm picking up along the way, so I'll have some companionship along the way. I'm feeling good about that. And then I don't even know if I have any other doctors. I don't think I have any more doctor's appointments this whole week. My daughter and I and others will go to the fair, which will be really fun, and I can take a break from it all, but I'll probably be starting that drug fairly soon. But I guess it's an infusion. There is a pill. There's one that is a pill form, and he didn't really have an opinion about which one. He said you can take any of them. One of them does have a black box warning, but he said he has only seen it one time. He contacted all these other hematologists about it. They had never seen it happen one time, but it's something called Jacob Cunningham disease or something, and he had a patient here who got it, but the guy was 95 and he died. It's like a brain disorder, but it's just, he said no one's ever seen it before, so it's incredibly rare. So I'm not worried about it, but it's been one full day, just one thing after another, and I'm heading home now, and my blood's doing good, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little bit tired, but tired's okay. I'll take it. So yay, a good update, and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it for now. Today's actually been a pretty emotional day for me. It started with going to my EMDR therapist, and we really got deep on some stuff, things I wasn't really expecting. I mean, I ended up crying a lot, like really deep tears, nothing having to do with cancer. It's just some stuff like personally, and I tend not to say those kind of details because usually when it involves other people, I don't want to talk about other people like that without their permission, really. But yeah, it was so deep. I got underneath some really deep feelings that had been kind of like locked up for a while, and that felt so good and so healing. And it probably is what set my mood for the whole day. In a way, I've kind of been in a really good mood all day, which is nice because lately I haven't been feeling that great, really. And then I was late. I've been late to everything like the whole day. And then I went over to the CASA office, which is the court-appointed special advocate, because I'm going to take on this baby. And that's probably all I can say about it. It's like really high, strict confidentiality. But basically what a CASA is a court-appointed special advocate. It's somebody who advocates on behalf of any child that is in foster care or gets detained for one reason or another from the parents. So sometimes babies are detained at birth, and kids are for different situations in their house. So I'm feeling really excited. I mean, excited is probably not the best word for it, but I'm really interested in it. I mean, it feels like a good way to give back to something outside myself, and so I'll be taking that on. I mean, I already am, but I need to start putting that in motion. I did the training for that last October when I was going through chemo, so yeah, I'm doing that. I think I already said that in a recent video, but anyway, I know people don't watch these all sequentially. And then I met up with a friend for lunch, and that was really great too. I asked him a deep spiritual question that was basically like how he handles certain types of situations and people, and basically it like always comes back to self-responsibility. I mean, it's really never about the other person. I feel that. I can't say never, because someone always comes up with some situation that's like extreme and hardcore, but aside from that, whatever our irritations and frustrations are with other people, really that is more telling about us than it is about them. So that's kind of the nutshell of it. It's just like, why do I get frustrated? I get frustrated with people, I get frustrated with situations. Frustration like runs me. So it doesn't run, well, in moments it does run me. So that was a really great conversation. And then I went and got my blood done, and then met with the doctor, and it's been one thing after another. So I'm happy to be home. I'm tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But yeah, it feels good. It's been a good day, and I'm sure it'll be a good day tomorrow too. Feeling grateful, I will say. I'm just feeling grateful. I feel grateful. I feel like I've got like a little breathing space in between like whatever's next health-wise, which hopefully will be surgery like down the road some number of months. Well, I mean, I guess I'll take this drug, but I'm not expecting much to happen from that, so. Well, I had a pretty hard visit, yet also relieving visit at Stanford today. I met with a new medical oncologist, and I like her. It's good to have a woman again. I have a lot of men doctors. It's nice to have a balance and have a woman doctor, and I really like her. But I told her I need somebody to kind of oversee things for me, because she was really surprised that I'm not taking any kind of endocrine therapy, meaning to tamoxifen or an aromatase inhibitor, and it just depends on whether or not I'm pre or postmenopausal. And it's hard to know that because I had chemically induced menopause from chemo last year, and I haven't gotten my period back. So it's information, but it doesn't really tell whether or not my body is actually post or premenopausal. So the drug that they want to give me, it depends, and she said it could cause harm if I do the wrong one. And so basically I have to have the estradiol tested, and I had that tested where I live in Grass Valley one time a few months ago, and they tested again today, so there needs to be 3 consecutive monthly tests to figure out where I am. She wants to start me on it right away after the September blood check. After I get labs in September, I'll be starting on one or the other. And she was kind of surprised. She considers me high risk given that I was stage 3 and HER2 positive, and what else? And then the other part of the pathology, it's the K, what is that, a KI67 or something? I can't remember what that percent is, but that percent factored into why she considered me high risk. So that actually is the relieving part. The relieving part is I feel surrendered to the fact that I need to take something, you know, estrogen maybe is running rampant in my body. I guess probably, most likely, since I haven't been doing anything except trying to do natural estrogen blockers. But the irony there, and I don't know about irony, but the misfortune is that like garlic and raw onion for sure are estrogen blockers, or I'm pretty sure they are. I've been relating to them as they are and eating them a lot, and they're actually platelet lowering. So I have this funky intersection between like needing to control the estrogen in my body and needing to make sure I'm not doing shit that makes my platelets drop. So I'm not doing the garlic and onions anymore. There's a few things I'm not having. Ginger is another one. Ginger might also be an estrogen blocker, I can't remember, but there's some things I'm not having anymore. Tomatoes, blueberries, things I love and things I've been eating in like large quantity. I mean, what did a blueberry ever do to anybody? But I guess if it's not good for platelets, I can't mess with it. So basically, pretty soon, and not that long, within a month, I'm going to be on 2 pretty hardcore pharmaceuticals. Probably rituximab, which is a pretty standard one that they give for the low platelets, and also either tamoxifen or an aromatase inhibitor. And I'm really scared. I'm scared of the estrogen blocker, because with that comes an incidence. Oh, great. Bay Area drivers are really dangerous. So with that comes like an increase in potential uterine cancer, and so, you know, that's, I don't know, it's just, it's so hard. I feel so helpless in many ways about all of it, but I can't risk a recurrence in a couple of years. I can feel like I'm just flying so high now, and it's dangerous, you know, for me to trust that even though it's so good, she said it was excellent, and I knew that it was excellent, that the pathology from the surgery came back with like no residual disease, and it's fantastic. It's amazing. It means I had just a complete response to all of it, but that doesn't account for any kind of like rogue stem cells that are there. So I feel heavy. I also, oh, did I say? No, she, I told her I was seeing a cardiologist in Grass Valley. She did basically kind of like a full physical that an oncologist would do. She tested me out in all the ways, and she said that she did notice something going on with my heart. I don't know if she said arrhythmia or aberration, or those are the words that stick in my mind, but I'm a little bit spent and I can't recall exactly. I did record it, which for some reason she didn't want me to do, but I kind of pleaded with her, like, can I please, I need this. So it's about 30 minutes. I need to just listen to that again. Although she spent much longer than that with me. She spent a really long time going over my history, trying to fill in some blanks, because it's been a major pain in my ass, and probably a pain in everyone else's ass who's had to deal with my case, because I've got notes and documents in one location and notes and documents in another location, and it seems from what I've heard from people that those two systems don't communicate easily. So I think that's why this whole platelet thing got lost in the shuffle, because I had just been seen in Grass Valley and my platelets were like 80 or something, and then I went to Stanford and then my platelets were 20, or I don't remember what the numbers are, but I was kind of like in between when the first time the platelets dropped. So I feel like I wish I could just walk around with every single document I have. I mean, I was so organized in the beginning, I really was, and then I had to take everything out of the binder where I was organized and make copies of it for disability, and once that happened, I just didn't refile them in my organized way. So since then, it's been really hard for me to keep track of details. I think part of it is just so much has happened that, you know, it's like a lot of balls in the air to try to keep track of. And I think part of it is I just don't have my mind back. And then I think part of it is I'm in overwhelm mode, so it's really hard to keep track of everything. So yeah, I mean, she basically told me that once I start, like, my follow-up basically will be every 3 months with her, and then basically tracking any new symptoms. So my oncologist in Grass Valley is not that person. I don't know why, but I feel so much better in the hands of Stanford, even though they're so aggressive, they're so conservative. I mean, I guess you could take conservative in two different ways, but they're aggressive in their approach, and I mean, this is it's a good thing that they are, but I still wonder about doing this subclavicular radiation. I just, you know, it was their recommendation, but I was stage 3A, not 3B. I don't know if there's a C or not. So it was just barely 3A, so that would have been similar to being, I guess, stage 2C or 2B, I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, I just have to surrender like I've had to all this time and with everything else, and trust that killing cancer and making sure cancer doesn't recur is more important than, what's the word, you know, like trying to circumvent the possibility of getting uterine cancer. I can't like not do that because I might get uterine cancer. I just have to keep watching. So this is troubling, you know. It's hard. It's really hard. And now, like, having this whole anxiety disorder or whatever is going on, I don't want them to give me some kind of drug for that. I stopped coffee. Not that I was drinking it every day, but there's no way I could have coffee. Already my sleep is, you know, like at a premium. I don't always get a good night of sleep. So yeah, that was my day today. I'm feeling a little bit heavy and also relieved, like I said, but I'll carry on as I have been, and thank God other people have gone through this. I mean, if this was going on, and I don't even know, 20, 30 years ago, when people didn't make videos and people didn't connect online, well, I mean, we're more recently than that, those things weren't happening, but it's so easy to connect with people now. I think back 20, 30 years ago, it was just more taboo, and people didn't share as much, and there weren't as many resources for support. So I feel really grateful that I'm able to learn from others, and it just helps. It helps immensely, because it's a very lonely experience, because, you know, nobody really gets it except other people that have gone through it or are going through it, and thank God for that, really, and thank God for people and their support. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Thanks for listening.